you doing? It's Matt O'Neill reporting to you live from beautiful southeast Nebraska on Coastal Collision Podcast, where World Star meets NPR and California meets Florida in a Midwest showdown. We're talking about what's going on out there in this beautiful United States and around the world, giving you some background noise to get through your daily grind. I'm here with my co-host and now ex-teammate, D-Trill, a.k.a. Mike Tython, Dylan Williams. Dylan, how's your break, bud?
It was pretty good, stayed in Peru, had to save some money after some unfortunate events a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That won't be mentioned. And, just kind of worked out, ran a lot, and just hung out with some friends who stayed here too. So, how was yours?
Couldn't complain. Went down to Virginia for my break. Spent a couple days down there. Went to Virginia Beach with my buddy Krotner. Went up to D.C., stayed up there and watched his dad run a marathon. And it was just, it was a pretty great break. A lot of good food, good beer, and just good times.
Wait, you watched his dad run a marathon?
Yeah, dude. Or a half marathon.
Okay.
It was 13.1. But we were out getting breakfast and shit. This bomb-ass bagel place. It was pretty nice, but... Also joining us in the studio today, the man who shaves patterns into his chest pubes during the season, a man we all know and love, one of our favorite big offensive linemen, Big Nick Lechtenberg. How was your break there, bud?
No, it was good. Just went back to the O and just worked. Had to get some money for Hawaii when I go there May 10th, so just was chill. Went to state basketball. My high school was playing. They got to the championship and choked. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Was your bro on that team?
No, he graduated last year, but we had some good family friends that played. So.
Where'd your bro end up going?
He went to the University of Lincoln just for.
Just to be there.
Yeah.
For those of you who aren't from the Midwest area, the O is referred to as Omaha. Yeah. That Nick started out, but. It's all good. But good to hear, guys. Good to hear the break went well. But I was having some deja vu on the break. Last week's episode, we were talking about who the better streaming service was, either Hulu or Netflix. And that got me kind of into a deep state of thought over the break one night. And it got me thinking that streaming will inevitably, at one point, overtake cable as the primary source of entertainment in the home in the next 5 years. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't have cable. I don't know anybody my age who has cable. And I can't really think of any reason why I would get cable when it's so much cheaper just to get a good internet service and then just watch everything I want online. Yeah.
No, I know. And we didn't have cable at our house until... this semester, I think we went a whole year or maybe two at the barn without cable. Now, Nick, you have cable, but do you find yourself more on your phone or watching TV, in your spare time?
It's kind of a little bit of both. I mean, there's some TV shows that I like to go, like when I'm at in the room at night, like watching Full House. Like I used to do that when I was a kid, and good ass shows.
Nick at Night.
Yeah,
dude.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
But no, I feel like I'm more on my phone, on my tablet or something, watching Netflix or Hulu, like you said.
I feel like it's more of a background noise thing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more like I'm on my phone, I'm texting people, I'm on Twitter, but I kind of flip the TV on just so there's not a deafening silence in the room, so it doesn't feel like I'm so alone.
Exactly.
Because I am, because we're all so alone in this world.
Yeah.
We're all so alone. And I think a big factor in the reason that kids our age are kind of moving more towards internet instead of television is just censorship. Just the ability for us to get on this podcast, for example, and say, shit, fuck, pussy, stuff like that. Like just being able to be our normal selves and not have it to confine to these regulations. Now, what do you think the cable industry has to do to somewhat compete with that, to maybe get around some of those harsh guidelines that those regulations that are set?
I don't think there really is anything they can do. I think it's more of an FCC thing.
Yeah.
And those douchebags don't mess around with the rules.
They don't. It's such an issue. I mean, I think it inhibits writing that's more creative. It inhibits writing that's more natural. When I'm really pissed, I'm not gonna say,
Oh,
what the
flabbergasted.
flapjack? You know, it's not conducive to like normal writing, and I think that is what's kind of hurting like big cable in the long run.
Absolutely. And I think, for future writers and people who are, trying to get into writing like myself, like, it hurts trying to, write a situation that you think is like, really funny or relatable or something, but you can't really say how you feel because of the guidelines that have been in place for so long.
Yeah, I mean, and it goes back to, this show, YouTube channels, they're reaching new heights. I mean, views in the hundreds of millions. I mean, you see these young 13-year-old YouTube stars with viewership that is it's unparalleled. Movie stars, Jennifer Lawrence, people like that are not even getting that kind of exposure. Now, do you think that the advantage of having a YouTube channel is the ability to access the content easier and more frequently? I think what I'm trying to say is, like, do you think that access is what's the driving factor behind internet, like, over television?
I think so. I think it's also part of the fact that I don't know, this is gonna kind of sound out there, but very plausible at the same time. I think a big reason why YouTube is so popular amongst younger kids or younger adults and kids and stuff is that, like, parents, the older generations, they still watch TV and they still watch cable. So if we're not able, like, if they weren't able to watch, what they wanted to watch because their parents were watching or whatever, they can find something else to watch on their phone or computer or something. And, as they get older and they have TVs with YouTube and stuff like that on there, they just continue to keep watching stuff like that.
And it's just, I think just the availability, the access is just so easy to just, you go to the channel and the content is always there.
Yeah.
It's always there. As opposed to television where unless you're recording it, you're DVRing or it's on demand, that content may not be there. That episode may not be there. And even, like, I find it most convenient with the internet is if it's just a segment, if it's just a little moment in a clip that you find really, really fucking funny or really entertaining, and you want to go to that clip 80 times, I feel like I have way easier access doing that online than I do on the television. Wouldn't you agree, Nick?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's movies that I love to quote and shit, and I'll just go like Cheech and Chong. Like, I love when when he's driving and he's up on the side of the curb and he asks whoever it was, the dude that's next to him, he's like, "How's my driving, bro?" And I swear, I lose it every fucking time I see that clip.
It's a classic movie. I mean, and you have access to that whenever you want if you go online. I mean, especially with older movies, Cheech and Chong is a great example of that. I don't see that on streaming services a whole lot. I don't see that on demand a whole lot. I don't see that. I mean, besides premium access like HBO, or if you pay for it somewhere else, like, you're not going to really find that content, but you can find literally anything online if you just kind of search hard enough for it. But keeping with the whole TV kind of theme, the creator of Spongebob, Stephen Hillenbrand, was actually diagnosed with ALS this week, a actually truly horrendous and crippling disease. Now, do you think that we are doing enough research of ALS in this country, or we're doing enough to combat this awful disease?
I think the focus, or not. Let me go back. I feel like we've raised better attention towards ALS now. Everybody's favorite conservative nut job baseball player, Curt Schilling, was very famous for his work with ALS. And there was the Ice Bucket Challenge a couple summers ago.
That did raise tremendous.
Huge awareness. I know a lot of people had no idea what ALS was until they did the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yeah.
And now is the purpose of the Ice Bucket Challenge like it's supposed to simulate what it feels like to have ALS? Or?
I think it was just kind of a way, an easily accessible way, unless you live in Flint, Michigan, to access water and to just raise overall awareness to the cause, and which it did. I think it actually did make like tremendous strides. But I mean, it does kind of remind me of a story growing up. I played on a baseball team with a kid named Corey, and his dad had ALS, and it was hard watching someone go through that, and his family had to, just keeping it all together, raising funds, doing everything they could to make, his dad's last remaining years on this earth, comfortable and tolerable. And it was just kind of weird seeing that in the news again and kind of making that connection. But let's move away from like the sad, hard-hitting stuff a little bit. Detroit, I know you love conspiracy theories, dude. You love it. Do you believe that the United States government is possibly withholding cures for diseases?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is not a doubt in my mind that we have found cures for probably just about everything by now, and that only the top 1% can really access them.
Dude, okay, Magic Johnson.
Primary
example. Magic Johnson, dude is out here giving blood, bro. Dude is out here giving blood. Like, he's living a pretty normal fucking life. I mean, besides being the owner of both the Lakers and the Dodgers, pretty normal life. But I mean, you would have to equate that into him being able to afford treatment that is otherwise just not even accessible. I feel like
he either got a false positive on his initial HIV test.
That's a good question.
Like, and the way I look at that too is, what was it, like 1991 or 1992 when he got diagnosed with HIV?
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury got diagnosed with HIV at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Died about 3 weeks later.
Yeah. He was out here slinging, though. He was slinging dick.
Oh,
Freddie Mercury out here slinging dick.
They both were, though.
I mean, you're the lead singer of Queen. You're slinging dick.
I mean, he had probably every guy and girl.
Oh, yeah. Lined up. And gay or straight, you're going to enjoy Queen. You're going to enjoy Queen,
great
man.
Music, great music.
The best music. Do you listen to Queen?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're great.
Bohemian Rhapsody? How do you not either, one, have Wayne's World flashbacks, or two, sing along with it? One of the greatest songs written of all time.
But, that being said, though, kind of lost my train of thought with that. AIDS was basically a death sentence, 25 years ago. Like, if you got AIDS, kind of had a couple weeks to a couple months left. That was about it.
Yeah.
And Magic Johnson is perfectly healthy with a...
Wild.
I don't know, maybe this...
Yeah, but I feel like, man, there's a legitimate possibility that the government could be withholding that, because there is a lot of truth to the statement. There's money in the research, but not the cure. Mm-hmm. As in, all those foundations, all those people's jobs, that all stops as soon as a cure really is found.
That's totally the reason why I never donate to charity. There's nothing to do with anything else. That's the sole reason.
It's not about not having a goddamn cent to give, but it's about the principle. It's the principle, really. Now, I mean, okay, so say you're diagnosed, Nick. Say you're diagnosed. It's a life-threatening disease. You're running out of time. You're running out of options. The doctor says, Nick, you got 2 months left. Now, do you think as a dying patient, you should be able to buy any sort of experimental drug that you deem necessary to try to either improve your lifespan or your quality of life in general?
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, because the EPA, they do place regulations on drugs. I mean, just for the normal consumer, for our general health. But I do think, in circumstances where you are fighting for your life, I mean, you should definitely be able to have access to whatever the fuck drug you want, if it's going to, possibly make you better. Would you agree with that or no?
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I agree, but I also disagree.
Okay.
Because I don't know if I personally would do that. I don't know if I'd want to spend, how expensive are these drugs going to be?
Right.
Am I going to spend a lifetime in debt to save my life?
Or put your kids at a complete disadvantage because it just sucks you dry after the drug works for a week.
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know about that because I've never been in that situation.
Right.
I don't know if I'd rather just, die and, help my family save money and stuff.
Yeah.
Or if I want to spend the rest of my life and eventually die still.
Walter White it.
And just be poor as shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something I'd be willing to do.
Yeah, that's a hard choice.
So say that you found some kind of drug that made you like you said, 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
What if they last for like 5 years?
Yeah.
Would you do it still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 5 more. That's 5 more. That's like, I don't know. That's how many. I mean, that's 5 years is probably a lifetime of experiences for someone who just gets told that they have 2 months to live. If I mean, obviously, yeah. If someone came up to me and was like, I mean, I'll get super personal with you guys right now. My grandpa, I think 2 weeks ago, just got diagnosed with colon cancer, I believe. Yeah, he was given, I think, 8 months with chemo, or it was a year with chemo, 8 months without it, and I mean, that's a hard decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean that's a really, really hard decision to make. Whether you're gonna endure that for that additional, 4 months, 3 months of living, or you're just gonna, live out your remainder without being in a hospital. But it's everyone's kind of own deal,
So the same thing happened to my great grandpa about 10 years ago. He got diagnosed with lung cancer, and it was the second time having cancer, second or third time actually, and he was. At the point he was about 80, I think he was like 81 or 82 at the time, and he was just said he was like, he's lived a full life, and like, he'd rather, live out his rest
remainder.
of his days, like,
Yeah.
in peace than, torture his body.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan said it best. I mean, I've been obsessing over Joe Rogan's podcast over the past few weeks, been getting me through these workouts. But he basically was saying how the human body, I mean, it's designed for 45 years.
Yeah.
40 years tops. I mean, and after that, it's all
downhill.
Breakdown. It's all medicine and treatment getting you, day to day. But I mean, we are only designed to go not very long. I mean, we're just increasing our lifespan, with modern medicine.
It's nuts for me to think about too, because neither one of my parents are even 45 yet. They're like, I think my mom just turned 44, and my dad's still 43. So like, it's just mind-boggling to think about. Like,
yeah, I mean, back in the like, old West. Yeah, I mean, it's you're out here dying at 28 from cholera and shitting yourself till you die. I mean, and it's just amazing how far we've come in that last 150, 200 years. All right, well, now as sad as this news is and the serious questions that's come out of it, I think still Steven Hillenburg did something that, most people can only dream of doing, and that's kind of making a generations of kids and adults laugh. And he was not only able to connect with kids and adults alike, but he was able to create a beautiful, cartoon and make people's childhoods better. With that being said, boys, what's your favorite episode? SpongeBob SquarePants.
Tough.
It's easy.
I
easy
got it
for
right
me,
now.
and it's Band Geeks, dude.
That's a great one. That was one
Band
of the ones
Geeks.
I was gonna say.
The Bubble Bowl is the shit. Me and my cousins loved that one, bro.
What's the one with the pencil? And he, Miho.
Doodlebob.
Doodlebob, dude.
Yes.
I crack up every single time.
That shit is hilarious, dude. So, I love Doodlebob is my shit, dog. Like it is so funny.
Favorite episode? That is so tough for me, honestly.
Oh,
There's
man.
so many good ones.
I mean, and it's just like the most quotable show
It's
of all
honestly,
time.
I'd have to say it's a toss for me. It's a toss up between the hash slinging slasher.
Oh my god, yes.
And what was the other one? It was where the Tattletale when he tells him the guy who wants to strangle him.
Oh my god, the Tattletale Strangler.
Yes,
dude, those episodes, those old ass SpongeBob episodes, are some of the greatest of all time.
Greatest TV ever.
Oh, dude, it was unreal.
When Sandy goes into hibernation,
Yes.
SpongeBob and Patrick goes in there.
I'm Dirty Dan.
Yeah. Who you calling a pinhead?
Dude, that shit's the best, dude. But oh man, I hate having to move away from that subject because that's like one of my. I could talk about SpongeBob for literally 20 of these podcasts.
We should dedicate like a whole segment next week to SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, I'm down, man. I'm down. Art. SpongeBob segment next week. Stay tuned in.
My dad hates SpongeBob. He calls it dumbass SquarePants.
There's so many people.
Why are you watching dumbass SquarePants, Nick?
There was a family that I went to church with when I was like real young, and they like always made fun of SpongeBob for some reason. I was like, "This is my favorite show.
my
Like, why
God.
hate on it?"
Well,
still-
fuck those guys.
I still watch it
That's-
daily.
daily.
If it's on, like I'm like, let's
Bro,
go.
yeah,
Let's
The
go.
new
absolutely.
episodes are not that
No.
good though. I don't know. Maybe it's just we've grown up and the humor is different now. or
Maybe,
something,
but watching old episodes, I felt like I
still
went
enjoy
back
them.
and I cracked up because the writing was so good.
But is that
40 lashes is my favorite. Dude, when Patrick's like, they're gonna give us 40 lashes, and it shows his eyelashes batting like they're fucking sheets, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, that writing, like, I was out loud laughing, and I was like, I think it was last summer, on my way, like, going to my job, like, in the mornings, watched it, and I was cracking up the entire car ride, 20 minutes to work, about that one line. It's just the best. It's the best.
I got something. Which one do you like better, the first movie or the second movie?
the first movie?
Oh, first movie,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
I mean, just Hasselhoff. Hasselhoff with the cameo.
Or when they what's the guy's name?
I mean, Alec Baldwin is Biker Dude's, does the voice for the
Really?
Biker
I
Dude.
did not know that.
Alec
Who's the
Baldwin.
lifeguard?
That's
Hasselhoff.
Yeah. When he shoots
Hasselhoff!
SpongeBob and Patrick with his pets.
Yeah,
And
dude. His like chest like
counts down.
expands and like.
Yeah.
Didn't Dodgeball come out like right around the same time?
Yes,
too?
yes, and he was.
David Hasselhoff was the leader of the Germans.
He's on the German.
Hasselhoff!
You guys. Man. All right. I love SpongeBob. We all do. But moving away from SpongeBob and more into the adult realm of cocaine.
Drugs!
Moving overseas, but technically still at home in Puerto Rico. They seized the U.S. Coast Guard seized 4.2 tons of cocaine, valued at a street value of $125 million. It was the largest seizure in the Atlantic since 1999. So with this seizure, is the war on drugs working? Is this a positive for the war on drugs?
I don't know. It's kind of a tough one, honestly. I mean, it looks
It's
like...
a loaded question because obviously there's a ton of facets into the war on drugs.
I mean, yeah, no, sure. I mean, if you want to say that we're winning the war on drugs with that, absolutely. Go ahead and say that, because that's a huge bust. I also happen to think that the war on drugs is a humongous waste of money, though.
Yeah,
So.
I mean it's essentially just human beings preventing other human beings from doing stuff they like because they don't do it themselves. I mean, that's essentially
Pretty much.
what any form of drug shaming or people who demonize drug users,
I'm gonna be
and
honest.
instead of trying to help them, instead of trying to address the actual issue, I think that the general public just loves to demonize the drug
absolutely.
user instead
I'm going to be honest. I think drug use itself is a victimless crime. I think that if you choose to do something like that, you're the only person who should be at fault for that.
It's your body, like.
Yeah, it's your body,
who
your
gives
choice.
a fuck, bro? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
to an extent, though, like, I get it, like, some people are gonna be fucking stupid and be
Right.
high as fuck and driving a motor vehicle and fucking just crashing into things or killing people, but...
Yeah, I mean, and that's when that kind of gray area with every issue comes along is when it's when does drug use not become a victimless crime? When does because I've watched plenty of intervention. I've seen
Great
great show. I've seen addiction. I mean, I have a very addictive personality. I gotta watch what I do on a day-to-day basis. I mean, there comes a point where people start stealing from family. They get desperate. I mean, they start.
I think once it starts affecting other people besides yourself, that's when it becomes.
That's when it becomes an issue. I think that's when it becomes clear that it's an issue of health and not an issue of making this person feel bad for being an addict. Mm-hmm. Like the goal of an intervention or the goal of to bring someone to sobriety is not to is.
It's not really to shame them. It's more to make them realize that
to make them more self-aware of the damage that they're causing to other people.
They're not just harming themselves right now. They're also harming the people that love them.
Yes, that the issue has progressed from almost from self-sabotage to you're
sabotaging others.
Yeah, you're affecting everyone else's lives. Now, Nick, you're a CJ major like me. What are your thoughts on the war on drugs? Do you see a lot of drug use in the Omaha area? What's the popular?
I think it's increasing. Like, I know in high school, like I was totally against all that shit, like drinking, doing drugs, and all that shit. And my little brother is like 2 years behind me, and he'll talk to me, telling stories like people that I went to grade school with, but like they're selling, doing all this crazy ass shit, and it's just like shocking. Like, what the hell is like every year it feels like more people are starting at a younger age of doing drugs.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's that situation with, I feel like maybe every young adult feels that way. Mm-hmm. That like it's like the reverse in my day.
Yeah.
In my day, we were outside playing with bikes, and now these kids are playing, the fucking Wii machine inside. It's that kind of shit. But I do acknowledge that I feel like as I left high school, in Thousand Oaks, heroin wasn't a big problem. Yeah. We did have an incident where a student OD'd when I was attending. He did.
Really?
He was our backup quarterback in high school. It was a really hard time. It was Griffin Kramer, one of my buddies. His dad actually played in the league for the Bears. Brian Kramer, I think, who's a quarterback. But yeah, he OD'd on Halloween 2012. Yeah, 2012.
18th birthday.
Yeah, it was a really hard time, and now it's like a true epidemic. Now it's like it's gone from doctors overprescribing opiates to patients overprescribing painkillers. Then they get addicted to painkillers. Then that prescription runs out. Well, they need to turn somewhere. And they turn to heroin because it's an opiate.
It's not very expensive.
No,
either.
Super cheap, and it's really easily accessible once you make that connection.
Yeah.
To buy.
There's a huge epidemic in South and Central Florida right now with heroin. I know the county below me, Manatee County, where Shaq's from, they're really, really bad with heroin.
I heard, and wasn't there a big prescription pill problem?
That's huge in Tampa right now. About 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was either the FBI or the state police or whatever, they shut down a bunch of pill mills. Like, doctors who were just over-prescribing everything.
I hate to be that guy, but are we recognizing the pattern? Are we? Is everyone else not seeing what we're seeing? Where there's a problem with one, I think the American public just has a natural need to, or a natural want to depend on a prescription. I feel like there's a mentality within the American people that if I'm not prescribed a drug for something that's wrong for me, then that's gonna keep getting worse. I feel like we're not doing enough to educate ourselves on natural remedies. I feel like we're not really addressing the issue. I feel like we're just writing a script for someone, throwing it at them, and say, "Fucking deal with it." Oh, you have pain in your elbow? Here's some Oxy. Fucking deal with it. And instead of just like maybe looking at physical therapy options, going and really helping these people, we're just kind of fucking throwing pills at the issue and going, "Yep, should work," and it's not. And we could see that, and it's progressing into harder drug use, unregulated, because people can't afford the prescription pills after they run out, and they got to keep feeding. Feeding
it's
the
been
monkey.
like that for decades now. So I'm kind of wondering why it's taken this long for us to say something like prescription pills, like opiates and stuff like that. That's been a problem since like the 50s. Housewives taking what's the stuff the Wolf of Wall Street he took?
Quaaludes.
Yeah. They take Quaaludes and then take too many of them and die.
Yeah, it's just it goes back to education. I just don't think I think we're teaching our kids because. At least when I grew up, when I drank cough medicine, I equated that to, I'm going to feel better after drinking this. No matter what, if I consume this, I'm going to feel better. And I think that has a lot to do with it. I think there's a natural placebo effect to almost every prescription pill that you take.
Not gonna lie,
Every drug.
Cough syrup though.
Yeah, no, because it knocks your ass out.
It does. You can't over break. There's a couple days where I was so bored. I just decided to say screw it. I'm gonna drink some NyQuil and
I think we're all kind of guilty of that, where we're like, all right, like it's not even like we're bored, but maybe like we didn't get that hot of a night's sleep before, and we're like, dude, like I'm going straight comatose.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna fucking dose myself, and I'm going to sleep for 12 hours, and I think that's an issue. It's an issue that instead of like maybe looking into why we're not getting sleep, or like addressing that, we're just like, fuck it. Like we're just gonna take this syrup and conk out. Or the fact that we're bored, and we're like, we're fucking bored, and we're like, all right, well, we're just gonna dose ourselves to sleep. I mean, it's just an issue that we have to look at. I mean, just as a whole. I don't think we're gonna have enough time to get to our final topic of the week.
I think we can.
You think we
Have
can?
a little bit of a longer episode.
All right. I mean, I'm down with that. You down with that, Nick?
I don't care.
All right,
So I really actually I have some good points I want to talk about
Well,
for this.
I'm glad.
So-
I'm really glad because we're going to talk about it. Let's do
yeah.
it. So our last topic of the week kind of hits close home to all of us on the pod, and that's the debate on whether or not college athletes should be paid. Like I said earlier, was listening to Joe Rogan. They had Arian Foster on the pod. And Arian Foster is a huge advocate for college athletes getting paid. What do you all think of that idea of us getting paid for playing football at a college level?
I'm actually opposed to college athletes being paid,
Okay.
believe it or not. But there's a later point which I'm going to get into, which kind of makes my argument make sense a little
Okay.
bit. The way the NCAA is kind of set up now, it does resemble a farm system for the NBA, NFL, and stuff like that. And so I'm not a fan of that whatsoever, to be honest. I think college athletics needs to be, I think it needs to resemble more of what Division II and Division III athletics, NAI resembles, where it's people going there to go to school first, and then they play a sport too.
Right.
At the Division I level, they're not there for school. Let's be real.
No,
they're not.
they're not.
They're there to play sports.
They're trying to get to the league.
Yeah.
They're chasing the dream. We're here because we
we
want to play some football.
and
We're gonna get a degree because we're not as physically gifted as
absolutely.
all
And I
those
think
people
that's
are.
what the NCAA needs to resemble more.
Yeah.
I think if you're gonna be these 4 and 5 star prospects coming out of high school, I think they need to go play in a farm league. I think the Pacific Pro League starts up I think next year.
Mm-hmm.
It's founded by Christian McCaffrey's father Ed and Tom Brady's agent, believe it or not. And it's basically an alternative to either going JUCO or playing collegiate football.
Yeah.
And it's going to take guys who are 17 to I think 23. And
That's not bad.
yeah, they're going to be able to play. They're going to get paid to learn pro schemes and play NFL rules basically, and then have a chance to get drafted from there. Every other country in the world has junior leagues for their major sports. Canada has junior leagues for the CFL, NHL. Every sport you can think of.
Yeah.
For that matter.
Damn. What do you think, Nick?
I like how Detroit was saying, D1, obviously, you're going to play fucking trying to get in the NFL or NBA or whatever. But, I don't know, us right now, we're kind of busy during season time, and we have, little time to go work. Sundays and Mondays are, our only time, basically, to go work. But D1, I bet you there's probably no days off. They either have running and lifting one day, or
Bro, what the fuck are you? We have no days off. Sunday.
Monday is
Sunday we got stretch and run. We got film for 3 hours in the evening. Monday we got off because I think it's illegal if we don't have one day off a week. And then Tuesday we're up from 5 in the morning till 9 at night.
That is true.
Doing football stuff and school stuff, and then we're doing that all through Thursday. Dude, in my opinion, fuck you, pay me. We're in one of the biggest industries. Us personally, no. But we're in one of the biggest industries, and if you're not going to say college football isn't a business, you're just ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about, because it is a straight business. They're getting kids to come to their schools. They're offering a free education as payment, which is not enough money for what they are bringing into the school. at all. So for, I mean, even if I'm not saying pay us. I'm not saying we need 6 figs. I'm not even saying we need 5 figures or 4 figures. I'm saying pay the students $400 a month, $100 a week, just to live, just to go and get something to eat off campus, just to go buy a set of headphones to make that 18-hour drive across country a little more pleasant for us. I mean, I just don't think. I mean, with the amount of money we're bringing in, like I said, us excluded, we're small town college football. We don't matter. But with that industry going in, the fact that those student athletes aren't getting paid is almost criminal to me.
Oh, it's indentured servitude.
I mean, it goes back to that South Park episode.
That's illegal. That's illegal.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically. I mean, I think you should be able to major in football.
Absolutely.
Like you should be able to major in business. You have football positions in organizations, in the NFL, in the NCAA. At all, you have marketing, you have business, you have security, you have policing, you have criminal, have everything.
Why is football coaching not a degree option?
No, it should be.
I would major in that in a heartbeat.
It should be.
An absolute heartbeat.
I think all aspects of coaching and sports in general, when it's viewed as a business, can be lucrative. And I don't think it takes away anything from the game either. I don't think when I look out on a Sunday and see a dude who's 23 getting paid millions of dollars, I don't think that changes much from when I look out and it's a 22-year-old on Saturdays playing in front of 100,000 people. It looks the same, it feels the same, but it's not being treated the same.
Do you know what the average starting pay for Division I assistant football coach is?
No.
It's about $90,000.
90?
90. 9000, I think.
Zero.
Yeah. Bad math.
We hit our heads a lot.
Not a business major.
We hit our heads a lot. CTE is a real thing. But yeah, no. I mean, it's essentially the NCAA is it's a farm system.
They're the mafia when it comes to athletics.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is, and I think there is. I mean, the reason it was set up in the first place as it's amateur is because back in the 20s or 30s, I don't think. I mean, I know for a fact they weren't drawing crowds like that.
No.
I know for a fact that students were paying to play football. Now we're in this phase where in our existence where everything's monetized. Everything has a dollar sign next to it. Everything has a price point that can be exploited or can be used to turn a profit. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just kind of what makes sense to me that if you're putting in the hours of work, I mean, you should be making that. You should be making that money. I mean, I get that people want to keep it a clean, pure game, but it's already not. Mm-hmm. There's art. Tell me there's not D1 athletes getting paid under the table.
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me there's not.
I'm gonna make this guarantee right now. Alabama might sue me for defamation, but I don't care. In the future, after Nick Saban retires, resigns, goes to the NFL or something, there will be a litany of scandals that come out of Alabama about drug use, paying players. I mean, look at that video of all the recruits that had like brand new like Dodge Chargers and Challengers.
Dude, the Nick Saban tell-all is gonna be fucking wild
insane.
when it comes out.
And you know who I bet is gonna probably write it? Reuben Foster or what's the running back? Trent Richardson.
Yeah.
One of the two. I don't know why one of the two, but one of those two will write the tell-all for some reason.
Now, okay, so we
Jacob Coker actually. No, Jacob Coker will write it.
We've established that I mean, I think players should be paid. You guys may think a little different, but maybe on certain issues, maybe not. But
I don't think we should be paid, but I think Division I athletes, I think they should be paid.
Beautifully done. But
I think we should get our college expenses paid for, though. I will say that.
Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah.
You know, we bring in the most,
Are you serious?
Football players bring in the most money for every school.
Oh my god.
Besides basketball only schools.
If you are okay, this is gonna come across as arrogant and cocky. If you are on the football team, you are one of the reasons that school is able to fundraise and function and buy things. You're either your parents, your friends, your family, anyone who comes and pays a ticket for that game, the booster clubs, the reason why things get built circulates through the sports programs at the school, and the main head of those sports programs at every school, I don't care what school you fucking go to, is football.
I mean, not for like Creighton or Marquette, they don't have football teams.
Oh, okay, unless you don't have a football team.
It's basketball.
But it's basketball at that point. I mean, you can see how schools funnel attention to one sport in particular. They have, it's every school has the umbrella.
Yeah.
But it funnels into one in particular that is kind of it's daddy. It's the dough maker.
Yeah.
He's bringing home the money every week, and then all the other programs, and excuse me again, I'm gonna come across as rude. Bitch all the time.
Pretty much.
Why do football players get all this? Why do football players get this and we get this? It's because we draw the most money. We are the most lucrative and profitable. There's no other. It's A plus B equals C. It's math.
I've never seen a sellout crowd for a college tennis match.
No, never. I have hardly seen. You've been to the College World Series.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the only baseball event that gets sold out all year.
Yeah.
All year, probably.
No, realistically, yeah.
That and then maybe super regionals and super regionals are probably only three.
Yeah. High level, high stakes, championship shit.
Yeah.
I'll this is a pretty good example. Nebraska at the Shoe last year in football.
Oh.
Nebraska playing Ohio State when they got blown the fuck out. Thank God. But was that game not sold out? Was that not a packed house game? It was middle of the season. It was Game 7. What Game 7 volleyball game is sold the fuck out like that? None. I mean, mid-season, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to see all the bitching. Mm-hmm. But honestly, do you think, to go along with like the fuck you pay me mentality, do you think that you should be able to go to a university, elect not to be a student, and just play football and get paid to just play football?
Ooh.
That would be the best thing.
Do you
that's an interesting idea actually.
Here's what I'm kind of thinking. When you commit and sign to a school, you commit that whether you're going to be a full paid player or you're going to be a full-time student. And if you're a student, you get your shit. You get what we have now. Expenses paid for, everything. Comped. You're good. At school, you're fine. Whatever spending money you need, whatever living money you need, you're going to have to come up with that on your own, whether that's through loans or what other source you have. But if you're a paid player, you're not taking any classes. You may have your living paid for by the school, but everything else, you're getting a stipend by month. And that's all you're doing.
I would say give them a stipend of however much like the scholarship is worth. So the scholarship, like let's say like a full ride at the University of Georgia is like $18,000. Mm-hmm. That's how much they get paid every year.
Yeah, and would you split that up like over the course of the year? Would you give that to them in like a chunk?
I'd say split up like by like quarters.
I feel that too because I feel like if you gave young college athletes. If you gave me $18,000,
I'd blow it all.
I'd be dead. I'd be dead in like 2 months, dude.
Super quick.
No way.
It's gone.
No way. I
like the party.
I can barely. I can't even handle my own money, dude. Like I can't even handle the $200 that I have the pleasure of spending every month. I can't or every 2 weeks. I can't even hold on to that for more than fucking 5 days before it's all gone.
Got $200 to live off the rest of the semester.
Oh, it's at that point of the year already.
I'm so glad I paid rent already.
Oh yeah, no, that is clutch. But yeah, we are getting to that point of the year already, which is horrifying.
I've got some more money coming in soon, with the whole court date thing. So hopefully.
I hope so. I hope you do. I hope that all works out.
It's gonna be a little rough,
I think you'll be all right. I think you're gonna be just fine. Well, that will about do it for the pod this week. We're gonna close this episode with this week's slap of the week. I'm a huge hip hop fan, along with both my dudes in the studio today. This week I've been bumping Coloring Book. I went on a long road trip. I was on vacation. Had some summer nostalgia, so I threw that on. But let me know what you're slapping at home at Matt O'Neill on Twitter or at Matt O'Neill on Facebook. D-Trill, Nick, what are you guys slapping this week?
You go first.
I like Ain't Nothing by Juicy J and Wiz Khalifa. when Wiz comes on, it just bumps.
Oh.
I'm a big Wiz fan, and shit's dope, man.
Yeah, Rolling
Especially
Papers
when
is-
you're like pre-gaming or some shit, or
Hell yeah, dude.
Like,
Hell yeah.
It's,
Is it a banger? Or is
man.
it like a chill?
we played in the room, and I tell you what,
It's a banger.
or in AJ's car. AJ's car got some good speakers.
Hell yeah.
Man, we bumped to that shit.
That's what I'm like. That's what I like to hear. Detroit?
I've been listening to a lot of Post Malone lately.
Yes,
Go
dude.
Flex. I think it's called Go
Yeah.
Flex.
Yeah.
That's been the song I've been listening to the most.
Stony is like one of my favorite albums of 2016.
He's a very interesting character, dude.
Dude,
His music is all over the place.
Yeah, dude. It varies a lot. There's like Broken Whiskey Glass is literally like a country song on that album. And then there's like Go Flex. And then there's shit like I Fall Apart, which is like it's like a power ballad, I would say. I would equate it to. It's like
relaxing as fuck.
Yeah, and it like hits home. It's weird, but the dude has a really unique style.
Have you ever seen the video of him and Johnny Manziel hanging out? He's like on roller skates, like singing a Toby Keith song.
No, dude.
I've been looking for this video for so long since the first saw it. But
I need to see that like tomorrow.
It is the funniest thing you've ever seen.
That's fucking hilarious. I need to see that. But excellent stuff, you guys. Look forward to coming back next week and killing it. But until then, no matter where you're from, live the dream.